Hello my scrappy friends and welcome to my channel today. So I'm showing you here what I've done so far. I have left in some of the colouring, but honestly my head was in the way, my hand was covering a lot of it, so I haven't left very much in. I started with a card panel. I don't think I'm using the right cardstock though. I noticed as I was colouring that this was bleeding, so I didn't get the best results ever, but I'm really happy with how this card came out in the end. I haven't done any Copic colouring for the longest of times and I really enjoy it. So I will quickly run through the colours that I've used. On the reeds that were on the card background, I did G28, 24 and 12 for the green, and the browns were E29, 25, 23 and 21. The lily pad, I think I did in the same green, and then the reds that I used were R29, 35, 22 and 20. And then for the darker shadow on my reds, I've actually used N7. You can see my little chart to the side there with my colours, and I will pop them in the description box below. I've also created a mask. So when I stamped this guy to start with, I did create a mask so that it looked like he was actually sitting on the lily pad. And once I did my colouring, like I said, I noticed it was starting to bleed. So I decided to come back in with some black Memento ink, which is Copic friendly ink, and stamp over the top. So I've used my mask again, and I have just popped that over my frog. And you'll see when I peel that off, you can't see the line of the lily pad going through the middle of him. I'm going to go in and stamp the little frog with the ladybug on his head as well. These are so cute. I love them. And I did originally stamp these with the really light brown colour, thinking I would do no line colouring, which I have done on my background. You can see that here. If anyone is interested, I learnt all of my colouring techniques from Kit and Clouder, which is an Australian, she's an Australian artist, absolutely amazing work. Her name is Elise, she's based in Queensland, and yeah, she does some absolutely stunning work, and her classes are fantastic. There's a few freebies over on her website as well that go over the basics and some more complicated stuff as well, so I'll leave a link for her below as well. So for my background, you can see I've masked off my colouring. I did not want to go over that with my blender brushes. I just stamped that and then I fussy cut along the lines. I've masked off the top of my waterline here. That's the totally Unfrogettable stamp set. Also has this wave stamp that I've used. I've stamped that a couple of times, and I used Distress Archival ink in Faded Jeans, I think, and then I've done the water with Prize Ribbon. Now I'm going to come in with this stencil and do some clouds in my background using Tumbled Glass, and I just want a really light blue. So you can see I'm inking my brush up and then making sure I'm working from the bottom and up, and it's a very subtle colour when it's like that, but once you take that mask off, it's quite obvious. So I'm just going to do the same thing a few times and layer up some clouds at the top here, and I really love how this worked out in the end. Really happy with it. Doesn't it look so cool? I love how you can just move this stencil up and, you know, even shift the angle. I've used some masking tape as well just to cover up the rest of those shapes because I didn't want those to appear. Now I wanted to add a little bit more colour to my background here as well, so I'm just using the Tumbled Glass, being really careful to just add the tiniest tint of colour to the white without going too over the top. I'm going to peel my mask off here, and I'm going to peel all of my masks off. I love how this turned out in the end. So happy with it. And there is my finished panel. I'm just checking how my frog is going to sit. I've die cut that panel with this die. It is Australian sized card, stitched rectangle card size dies. I love them. My little frog is going to sit there. I'm going to do a edge to edge shaker. So first things first, I've got to stamp my greeting in here. I've used my powder tool and I'm going to, what am I first? Yeah, so I'm going to do my greeting here. And the greeting I'm going to use, it's 2 stamps. It says, I hope your birthday is totally unforgettable, I think. No, I hope your birthday is unforgettable is what it says. I'm using my VersaFine black ink here because I know that it is going to stay wet for a little bit longer and I'm going to be able to apply my clear embossing powder. Just double stamping that. I love my stamping tools for that reason. I can double stamp them. And heat emboss that. I have left this in because I don't know about you, but I love watching the magic of embossing powder melt. It looks so cool. I'm going to come in. I've done the first line of that sentiment and I am using the 1/4 inch red tape from the SpiegelMom scrap store as well. And I'm just going to do a border around here. For my sequin shakers, I really like to use these this red tape. I know it sticks. I know it's not likely. It is not likely. It is not going to come apart. And so that is my favorite adhesive to use for especially these full front shaker cards. I'm going to go in with my powder tool again, make sure that none of that's sticking because I do not want my sequins to just get stuck to the plastic. I've actually used some obviously packaging here and I used the sticky bit to get that in exactly the right place. I've done up 3 sides and trimmed down the corners where the excess is hanging over. And I'm pretty happy with how this is looking. Now, you can see I fussy cut my frog and ladybug out and I did chop off his little antenna. So I'm coming back in here with my black Stays On ink because I know that's going to stay on this plastic. And I'm going to double stamp that as well, make sure it's in exactly the right place. And just double stamp that so that I have got his little antenna. Happy with how that is. I've made sure I did that stamping before I added my sequins. So I end up using the rest of this pack of Skylight sequins. They're so pretty. And I like the blue because the blue goes with the water, it goes with the sky. It's not a complete contrast to my greens in my frog. And I knew that my boy would love it. So this is actually for his birthday, which was on Friday. He turned 9. Making sure I've got good coverage there. I'm going to shake it up a little bit. I'm like, nope, I need more. Dump the rest of that bag in there. And I've got another bag off to the side here. It's my bag is labelled Oceanside Breeze, but they're in the store as Oceanside. And there's a couple of big... There is big shells in this one, which I was like, oh, they're so cute. So I have intentionally pulled out a couple of those and added those into my shaker pocket. Just going to seal this up now. I'm happy with how much fun shaker, sequiny, shiny goodness I've got in there. And trimming this down. I did leave this bit in so that you could see which extra bit I was talking about. I've got my red line tape there. And pull that nice and taut and done. If you can hear yelling, it is, with everything that's been going on for me, I have kind of lost track of dates and times, and then the US time is different and I confused myself. So yeah, my kids are outside. I had to shoo them outside so I could do my voiceover quickly. Again, I'm using this red tape to stick my little frog to the front. I do not want to risk him coming off. And just to finish off my my colouring, I'm just using my N9 marker, I think this is, which is neutral grey 9. And I'm just going around all of the edges there. And I like that it just kind of, any imperfections in my fuss cutting are covered up. Love it. I'm going to stick him on the front. I'm going to give it a shake. I love how he looks, and my little boy was very impressed with it. Yep, it shakes. I'm happy. There's lots of pretty shiny, sparkly goodness in there. I've trimmed down this light green cardstock. Now my cardstock is from Stampin' Up. If you want to know the colours, I can double check for you and let you know. I can't remember off the top of my head. Using my ATG, and I'm also going to use my Scotch tacky glue. I don't want this to come apart. I had my nephews here yesterday to wish my boy a happy birthday. It was so funny. The first thing he tried to do was pull the frog off the front. I'm like, no, don't do that. Just sticking that down, lining it up, and smushing that down. And then I'm going to do the same thing onto my card base. It is a top folding card. And again, it is A4 paper basically cut in half. I cut it on the long side so that I get the top folding or side folding. I don't know why, I just prefer that fold, so that's what I make. Again, it is Stampin' Up cardstock, and if you want to know the colours, I can let you know. Just sticking all that down, and that is my finished card. I think he looks fabulous. I love him. My boy loves him. Hope your birthday is unforgettable. So the stamp set is from Simon Says Stamp, but these sequins, I love it. My little guy wouldn't say it to too many people, but he does love the shiny, sparkly sequin fun. And there's a little close-up of my little frog. Make sure you head over to the SpiegelMom Scrap store so that you can pick up your sequins. You can get 15% off using code Melinda15. That is everything in the store excluding new pre-orders, but otherwise go crazy. Shop up a storm, get 15% off. I hope you've enjoyed my share. If you have any questions or comments or just want to say hi, please do so. There's my code again. I'll make sure I link everything in the description box below. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope you have an unforgettable day today.